Yesterday evening, there was introduced the theme or the possibility of our gathering together. And that was to learn what is the proper authority. Or in other words, how do we know in this ordinary life that we've become an initiate, an adept? And to this end, we bring together Qigong through the mastership of Marianne to unite our body, our mind and our spirit, and to bring healing through the breath. And meditation, where we merge the three levels of existence or mind, that ordinary level of mind where karma and cause and effect abide. That level of mind which is called the occult or spirit level, where intuition, dreams abide. And that third level, where compassion, love, empathy, pity live. That undifferentiated level that's sometimes called the level of oneness. And story. But in order for us to understand the stories, we have to interpret them on three levels. The first level is where we understand their moral or their teaching. And the second level is where we know their motives, their archetypes, their symbols. And the third level, where we bring together what we could say is the subjective and objective. When they come together, we have the ability to express what it is that we understand. There is another level, but we will not speak of it right now. But then the story. In a time long ago, there was a fisherman by the name of Gopal. Every day, Gopal went with his fishing line and stood on the shore to cast it to catch fish. But then, one day, after Gopal threw his line far out into the sea, instead of reeling in a fish, a great Leviathan of the deep that had caught his line hauled him in. So he found himself in the gaping mouth of this giant of the deep. But to Gopal's great surprise, when he entered the cavernous opening of this great fish, it was a space, a vast space in which he settled himself. For 40 days and 40 nights, Gopal found himself in the belly of this great cavernous creature. But as it so happened, in the heavens, the wife of the great god Indra, Parvati, was begging her husband to teach her the great secrets of life, begging him to give her initiation into the wonders of the mysteries. But Indra refused. He said he dare not reveal these secrets in case there was someone who was not ready to hear, overheard the teachings. But Parvati begged and harangued him until finally he agreed, only if Parvati could find that space where no one else could hear. So Parvati had an inspiration. She decided that she would go to the depths of the ocean to create a space that would bring that environment in which Indra could give the teachings without fear of anyone overhearing. So Parvati entered the depth of the ocean and she created a wonderful space decorated with shells and so it was that Indra and Parvati descended into the depths of the ocean. Parvati waiting to receive the teachings. But as it happened, the edifice that Parvati had created drew many fish because there were many spaces in which they could play together. And this, of course, was a magnet for the great Leviathan of the deep. He could find food, so he came around. And of course, Gopal was in his cavernous stomach. So Indra and Parvati, believing that they were alone in the depths of the ocean, Indra began his teachings. But Gopal, in the great cavern, found that Indra's voice permeated into his space, and he could hear every word that the god said clearly. And so the teachings began. But you know, there was a gentle movement of the ocean, and Parvati nodded off to sleep. In the course of the teachings, Indra said, "Are you understanding what is being said?" But Parvati was asleep. But Gopal answered and said, "Yes, I hear." So Indra went on with his teachings. And after they were complete, of course, Parvati woke up and she said to Indra, "Oh, please continue, husband, with your teachings. They're so wonderful." Indra said, "But I've finished the teachings." But who was it who said that they were hearing? And Gopal answered, "It was me." So Indra was a little angry, and he said to Parvati, "Well then, my wife, it is not you who will be initiated. It will be he who spoke to me." And so it was that Indra gave his initiation to Gopal while he was in the cavernous opening of the great Leviathan. Indra and Parvati returned to their heavenly realms, and as fate would have it, a great storm came onto the ocean and washed the huge creature onto the beach. Many people gathered around, and opening the carcass of this great Leviathan, out came Gopal. He told those who were gathered his story, and they could hardly believe what he told them. But an amazing thing happened. As Gopal trod on the rocks on the beach side, they melted under his feet. Gopal's footsteps can still be found. But from that time on, Gopal traveled far and wide, bringing the great and mystical teachings that he had learned to those who were ready to hear. Again, you're invited to gather together to share your understandings on these levels of story. That level where you comprehend their teaching, their moral. That level where we all know the symbols, the archetypes. And at that level where our subjectivity and objectivity come together, bringing the ability to express what it is that we know and understand.